rocking back and forth. Her nails were inside her mouth and tension was kept increasing. When they will call me? Her heartbeats were accelerating and soon she saw her best friend enter the room. "What are you guys doing here?" she yelled, but her eyes widened when her eyes caught her father, who was glaring at her. "I'm forgiving you this time, but if you try to run away again, then get ready for my deadliest sight." Her body shivered the way her father was warning her, and tears fell from her eyes. "Why don't you understand? I don't want to marry him." "It doesn't matter to me, and two of you, get out of my mansion if you love your life." Sasha and Mia looked at Ryan. She gestured them to go with teary eyes, and because they were her last hope to run away from this unwanted forced marriage. "At least let us hug her for the last time." With a heavy heart, Mia hugged Ryan, then Sasha, while putting a note in her hand secretly. "Your last hope," she whispered, backing away from her. Then both of them walked out, along with Mr. Lee, who locked Ryan's stroll from the outside. Ryan fell on her knees because the guy she was marrying was nothing but an animal in human disguise and one of the ruthless mafia of the underworld. She's scared of him. His eyes, his words, his touch always made her feel disgusted, and marrying him was like entering a cold hell where mercy didn't exist. Being a daughter of ruthless mafia, she was forced into this marriage, and for his profit, her father could go any extent, even he had to soil his own daughter. Wiping her tears, she opened the letter and read it. "Ryan, there is a gangster team and they will kidnap you tomorrow because this is the only B plan we have. Don't worry, they will send you to us, and we arrange tickets for the USA as well. Call on this number once, just inform us you are ready for it, and they will try their best to save you." Ryan had no hopes left because she knew how powerful her father was, but still she dialed the number to test her luck. There was the map of Lee Mansion was placed on the big table, and 7 boys were surrounded it to understand everything. "This tunnel is the right place to enter. It's a good idea." They decided how they will enter and execute their big plan, which they were waiting for a long time. "Make sure innocent people won't be harmed during our mission, and this should be our first priority. Your first priority should be his death, not any other thing." Mr. Kim glared at Taeyang because he always prioritizes the safety of innocent people and didn't become ruthless like he wanted him to become. "We will work on these plans tonight and more." With that, Taeyang walked away, looking at his father with cold gaze, who had no emotions in his face. Here Ryan was getting ready for her so-called marriage and controlling her tears. Her hopes were dying as time was passing and there was only a few minutes left for her wedding. She looked at herself through the mirror and tears welled up in her eyes, and the beauticians looked at her worriedly. "Ma'am, are you okay?" "Yeah, I just need some time alone." The girls walked out, but soon she noticed the door of her room open, revealing the most unexpected person. Her eyes widened due to shock, while there was a sweet smile on his face. Tears dropped from her eyes, seeing each other after 4 years, and Taeyang took steps towards her. He couldn't withdraw his gaze as she was looking gorgeous. There was a silence between them, but the scenario of 4 years was playing in her head like a movie, and wiping her tears, she got up angrily. "What the hell you are doing here?" With her hard voice, Taeyang came back to his senses and took out a long breath. "You call us for your help." Ryan's eyes widened, realizing the sweet, shy boy of her college was now part of a gangster team. But before she could ask, Jin entered the room. "Taeyang, our men keep dying." Taeyang didn't panic, but a smirk plastered on his handsome face, which confused Jin. "Tell Jimin to start work on our plan B," Jin ordered everyone before walking out, and Ryan's heartbeats hissed when Taeyang pulled Ryan closer to him by her waist. "What the? I'm sorry, love." With that, he hit her head with a gun and she passed out. Not trusting anyone, he hid her inside his own car and started his mass mission. Ryan flicked flickered her eyes before adjusting to the room light, and her heartbeats accelerated as she found herself in an unknown room. Where am I? She panicked, but the second moment her heartbeats calmed as her eyes caught Sasha and she hugged her tightly. Shh, you are safe, Ryan. Thank you. Wow, now our Ryan is being mannered, Sasha giggled and they broke the hug. Ryan wanted to ask about Taeyang, but she hesitated and sat with her best friends for the dinner since she didn't eat anything. How do you know gangsters? My cousin brother is a part of that team and I knew except them no one could help us. Like it was so risky but they did it so well. They were praising them. Now Ryan was curious to know about Taeyang more and was about to ask when she heard the familiar deep voice. Can we come in? Sure. Gia and Taeyang entered the bedroom, their eyes unknowingly glued to each other, but Sasha broke their eye contact. Ryan, meet my cousin brother Jin, and he is his boss, Mr. Kim Taeyang. Ryan passed Jin a smile which he gave back to her and signaled his sister and Mia to walk out. With confusion, both of best friends walked out along with Jin. There was a pin-drop silence as Taeyang and Ryan left all alone inside the room, but Taeyang initiated the conversation. I'm sorry, I think I hit you way too hard. You shouldn't unconscious me in the first place. It was needed. Again, silence consumed the atmosphere, and Ryan looked everywhere but him. There was anger, emotions were flooding inside her, but still she was sitting calmly. Would you like to give me a chance to explain? Ryan looked at him finally. Yes, she wanted to know why he ran away, leaving her all alone, and she nodded. Thank you. He was still polite as he was before and sat beside her with a proper distance, not to make her feel uncomfortable. I spent my whole life with my mother and I never knew what the meaning of father is, what his love feels like. I craved for it, but 4 years ago, I got to know I have a father. A father from my mother was hiding me for years to protect, but 4 years ago, he came back to us because he needed me. Ryan was surprised but not reacting much. She listened to him carefully. That day, I came to know about that I have an identical twin brother V, but sadly he was killed by Andrew's man, and my dad wanted me to take his revenge. He forcefully took me and my mother with him, and that was how I lost you. I lost myself and forced into this ruthless world of blood. I took training for years just to become like him unwillingly, but as time was passing, I came to know he was died for saving hostage girls. That day I promised my brother to take his revenge, and today I complete my promise with Andrew's brutal death. Tears dropped from his eyes and Ryan couldn't help but hugged him tightly, which he needed. After 2 years of cage, I finally got the authorities to take my own decisions, and from that day I was searching for you, but you're nowhere to be found. But when Jin Hyung gave me your photo and told me you are Lee's daughter, I was shocked. He is my real father. Chow family was just a show off to the world, so no one could use me against my so-called real father. But gladly, Chow family gave me the love I always wanted. That day I called you to tell you about this, but I never knew you wouldn't come. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry when you were caged just like me. He hugged her tightly, nuzzling his face in the crook of her neck, and both of them stayed like this in each other's arms, feeling soulless. I killed your father too. His heartbeats were accelerating as he didn't know how Ryan would react, and her silence was eating him alive. He deserves it. She knew her father was not just brutal, but he did trafficking of girls to run with Andres. An animal like him deserved nothing but a brutal death. Both of them scooted away. Their eyes were looking at each other, and the distance between them was decreasing each passing second, and finally their lips touched. Feeling of euphoria, they felt once again and kissed with love, happiness, and so many emotions. Tears dropped from her eyes while Taeyang pulled her more closer to take the kiss. But suddenly the door opened, revealing Jungkook, who had big eyes, and the couple detached from each other. Ryan and Taeyang were a bit awkward. You? How dare you? What? I have liked her since I saw her picture. Mine eyes widened and she flickered her eyes, but then pulled her closer by her waist. She's been my girlfriend since college. But I will make her my wife. You? Jungkook immediately ran away as they marched towards him and Wild bursted into laughter.